Hey, welcome back to Milton Daily Homes. Chuck here, and this is the train episode. So our theme music for today is... All right, so let's get started. 63 Campbell starts us off $394,900. You have a home that's probably built before World War II, so you have all the things that you need to check into, wiring and even insulation, all the rest of it. So get a good home inspector. It's in Campbellville, so you're about 5 to 10 minutes west of Milton, a very quiet, they call it a hamlet, which is smaller than a town, I guess. But you've got the original wood trim here. It's very charming. Very nice. So here's where we get into the train stuff. And by the way, the lot is almost 400 feet deep. So you're about a third of an acre. And really nice property. So when you look at where it is, there's the house right there. And you go across the street, you go, oh wow, there's this nice, lush greenery. But right behind that is train tracks. So theme music. So bit of a tough location on that one there. The price point, really, they got it right in the description. They said this is really the price of a townhouse. Furnace and roof have been done. You'd want to check the condition of the windows, and also there's no AC in here, but there is a forced air system of heating. So you probably could do an air conditioner and patch into that system. So there you go. You might have to do some cosmetic work from how it looks in the description. And the other thing is it's only a 2-bedroom, 1 washroom. So it's interesting. A lot of the ones that have sold in that little strip on Campbell have gone between $300,000 and $400,000. Barclay is even more expensive, and it's a townhouse, so it's a perfect example here. There was another one on Barclay yesterday. It's a croft side, and the only thing I don't like about putting a fireplace in the croft side model is that it kind of interferes with the way that's a very common place to put a couch, so you might actually eliminate some of your seating area by having the fireplace. But it is a fireplace is a nice thing to have, I think. I really enjoy ours. And then you've got 3 bedrooms upstairs. I'm not sure how well the basement's finished. You can see some kind of undulations here. You might need some paint, or it could just be the way the flash hits the ceiling. Now, the other thing a lot of people don't know about Mattamy homes is that in order to put more square footage on the main floor, Mattamy made the decision to put a right-of-way in the backyard. So in a row of 6 townhouses, if you're in the middle, you actually have to cross over 2 other people's backyards to access your yard. Now, obviously, you can go through the kitchen, but if you're thinking lawnmower and that kind of thing, that's the gate right there. So you do have that element where it's a little bit of kind of sharing, and nobody loves it, but that's what you get for a Mattamy home. And that's really the difference, is you get more square footage inside the house. Whereas if you go up closer to Main Street or builders like Arista Fieldgate, they had a different philosophy, is that they usually have a door and a long hallway that goes directly from the garage into your backyard, so you can bring your lawnmower straight out. But the floor plans tend to be a little bit more long and narrow and don't always have, like this one, for example, with the family room and dining room. So anyway, they do sell for that kind of price range. We've got this one on Ferguson, and you're a little bit bigger than the previous one. You're swapping out. You don't have a finished basement on this one, but you've got green space behind. And if you're looking for open concept, this one has a kitchen wall blocking your access to the rest of the family room. So, if you like to cook and you don't want to be disturbed, maybe this is the right home for you. I find most people tend to like more of an open concept design, and that's your backyard right there. There is a small, it's called a parcel of tied land. So the house itself is freehold, but you're attached to a road, which is essentially, the road is the condo and has a little bit of a maintenance fee. And you're looking at, I think it's $50, $60, $70 a month in this complex. So it's not crazy, but it is a little bit of extra there. I think they priced it pretty well. Duncan Lane is $429, and it faces train tracks. So theme music. All right, let's have a look inside. So we have hardwood floors. It's actually a nicely renovated space. You've got the front living dining. And again, it's a little bit more narrow than some of, for example, the Mattamy homes. And then you've got your kitchen, and then there's a family room further behind. There's a walkout. There's a little bit of a... I like when the kitchen isn't in the back of the home and you've got a little bit of an area right there. I think that's a duplicate shot. Main floor is hardwood. Upstairs, I believe, is laminate floors. So not sure how the floors are going to match up there. But yeah, you've got this little handy deck here that comes out because that's your family room, and then that's your house. It looks like you may have to just finish some of the fence work there. 429. It's probably not my favorite location. It's okay. It's funny because we don't see people really taking a big value hit for being across from train tracks, and maybe that's because the market's so active. I don't know. There was a point in Milton's history when I remember that we adjusted, probably even for a busier street, we would adjust, 2, 3, 4% sometimes. So Sauve, I'm not sure how you say it, 488.8. It's an end unit townhouse, and so where it is it's this one, right? It's in one of these, 689. So RHD, residential high density. That's going to be condos. GB is Greenbelt. That's the school right there. That's Irma Coulson. And the RMD is typically towns, semis, that kind of thing. So you will have you'll have some kind of a condo building right here. There is nice green space around. There's a big pond right here. But just know that you're going to pretty much right across the street. That's what you're going to see. And you've got a nice big front porch. They've started to decorate for Christmas. And it's a very open layout. I actually really like the layout of this one here. It all flows together. The dining room is separate enough, but it still has lots of access from the rest of the house. Very nice upgrades in here. So even this little space is pretty handy to have a little balcony above. And I have no issues with the house at all. I think it looks great. The location concerns me a little bit. And for a townhouse, there's not many of them that go up in the 490 range, especially when you're less than 2,000 square feet. So Landsborough is 510. You're really only linked by the garage, so your bedroom walls should be reasonably private. And typically what we're looking at with semi-detached over 500,000 is they're usually more than 2,000 square feet. These guys might make it up on upgrades because they have a very well upgraded home. It's impressive. The laundry room looks great, and we'll see what happens with it. I wish them all the best of luck. There's been some sales of this model. This is a Heathwood model on Forbes. It's called an azalea model. For years I called it an azalea. I never made the connection that it's azalea, like the flower. Anyway, you could probably find that in past episodes of Daily Homes. It's got a nice floor plan. A couple of these have sold with finished basements for less than they're asking. So while it's nice, I think most of the sales comparables would indicate that it's probably worth less. Seacourt only has one picture. Single car garage at 550. It's towards the high side. Like this neighborhood, I think the highest sale, in the last year and a half has been at 550. So it's nice. It's a 50 by 120 foot lot, and it's got some renovations. You got to show more than 2 pictures if you're really going to make someone come and have a look at that price. Now, 541 Thompson is a live work at 849, which is lower than any of them have sold for. So it's certainly enticing, compelling. It's got the road, like you're facing the road, which is a good thing because some of the ones on the inside I would expect maybe to price here. But road facing, I think there's one at $1 million. They're getting destroyed by this one here. Anyway, so you have, I think you're about 800 square feet on the main floor. They're typically renting for kind of 20-25 a square foot. And then you've got your upstairs, and I think this is 2,200 square feet of space. It's a very nice open concept layout. The financing is a bit of a hybrid on these, because typically commercial financing is much higher rates. Like, people are so used to residential rates at 3%. Commercial lending might be at 5, 6, even 7%, with a lot more down payment required. So there are some hybrid programs that exist out there where it's like you need the higher down payment, but you can get the lower rate. I mean, they change all the time. You also might have tax influence here, because you're buying commercial space, which is subject to HST, and the residential space typically is not. So it can be a little bit trickier to navigate through this stuff. And I hope that the people selling this are aware of some of those issues, because the worst thing for a buyer is to have a surprise, especially a big HST bill. That's not something you want to really have sitting on your plate at the end. So anyway, if you have any questions about this kind of stuff, let me know. I can even put you in touch with a couple of lenders that would specialize in this kind of financing, if that's your dream, is to have a place, even rent the upstairs. You're probably renting for 2,200 square feet upstairs. I would guess maybe sort of 1,900, 2,000, maybe a little bit more than that. And then the main floor, we talked about the rental rate. So again, from an investment property standpoint, a little tricky to make the numbers work unless you're putting a substantial amount down. So if you have any questions, give us a call, and we will see you back on Monday with more Milton Daily Homes. Thank you for watching, and doobies!